Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today, MYKAL and I are going to be discussing who shattered Pink Diamond and why. So to start things off, I actually made a fun little poll and I posted on my Twitter, and I believe the Cartoon Universe Twitter also reblogged it or retweeted. Whoops, Tumblr. And so I just first wanted to share the results of what you guys initially thought, because this is going to be kind of like the ultimate big compilation of pretty much every piece of evidence for every single suspect out there, I should say. So this is going to be kind of a long video. You'll probably be able to tell by the time how long this video lasts, but we'll see. So the poll results were that Yellow Diamond got first place with 36%. So like about 87 people voted. So 36% thought that it was Yellow Diamond, 27 thought it was White Diamond, 6% thought Rose Quartz, 9% thought Pearl, 1% thought Blue Diamond, so 1%.
Not sure how that's possible since there's only 87 voters, but anyway.
15% thought Pink Diamond was still alive, and 6% thought someone else. Of course, there are a couple other options that, technicalities, I guess, like kind of very specific options that I could have put, but I didn't, which we'll talk about in the video. But that's just like kind of a general overview of what you guys think who did it, I guess.
Yeah, the main suspects.
Yeah. So let's just start talking about them. So first up is Yellow Diamond.
Well, first of all, I think it was Kofi.
No.
No one.
Is that how you say it? I have no idea. Well, that was not on my poll or on this document. But by the way, I posted a link to a document on my Discord for people to come and edit it and give their thoughts onto who shattered Pink Diamond, and a bunch of you guys helped out, which is amazing, for my Discord. So I'll leave a link to our Discord now. I believe just to join Discord, just /CartoonUV. I have a custom invite code now for our server. But yeah, so I'll credit them at the end of this video, so don't worry, guys. But yeah, thank you guys so much. We have so many points of evidence now, and it's a huge list, so we have a lot to talk about. Yeah. So yeah. Yellow Diamond, back to that.
It'll be long.
So as we know, if it was her, we know that she was really not happy with the Earth in general. She just wants to be done with it. She just wanted to use the cluster to harvest resources from the Earth, and we don't really know exactly too much about Pink Diamond's what she wanted exactly, but she might have wanted to keep Earth alive how it was, even though or just keep humans for her zoo. She didn't want it to be destroyed by the cluster. So that was they had conflicting viewpoints, and therefore Yellow was like, oh yeah, she has to go.
That could also be used for the opposite, that she didn't do it because Yellow Diamond is not the most rational, which is ironic because Peridot said she was. So she kind of acts on her rage, it seems like, based on what we know so far. So it actually could just be her wanting to destroy the Earth out of spite, because it reminds her of Pink Diamond, similar to how she wants all the Rose Quartzes that are bubbled shattered, whereas Blue would rather keep it preserved, similar to how she would rather get humans for the zoo to keep Pink Diamond's memory alive. She wants to upkeep the zoo and everything like that. And Yellow Diamond just get rid of it all, don't even want to think about it. And that's reflected in the song What's the Use of Feeling Blue, where Yellow Diamond's talking about how Blue Diamond needs to stop feeling, and she tries to repress her own feelings and just get rid of them and pretend they're not there. So it's kind of this literal translation to that in the physical world. Instead of her emotions, she really would rather just get rid of it and pretend it never even happens, just to deal with the problems out of spite, essentially.
So that's against it being Yellow Diamond. Yeah. So well, I think we'll get to more of the against, because we also have we have a bunch of stuff for and against for pretty much every single option. So another point for 4 is that we don't know exactly Blue and Pink's relationship, but it's safe to assume that they were pretty close. We've seen how much Blue Diamond cries about Pink Diamond, and how sad and enraged she gets when even just talking about the incident at all, in the trial. And it's for the relationship that we've seen between Yellow and Blue now, it seemed like maybe Yellow would have been jealous of Pink Diamond's relationship with Blue, and she wanted to be closer to Blue Diamond again, so Pink had to go.
I would not like that plot point. I'd feel like that's a kind of a cheap motivation for a villain. Like, oh, my sister likes my other sister better. Meh. And I don't know if that necessarily fits her character, that she would literally kill her younger sister just to get closer to the other sister. So that seems like a bit of a stretch, and if it happened, I don't know if I would like that, but I guess it depends on the execution.
Yeah, so I mean, also we see her have like emotional responses, which could be seen. It can be taken many ways. At the end of what's the use of feeling blue, like you said, she could be guilty for like a lot of these. Like a lot of these are like, oh, this person seems guilty, so it's them.
Right.
But so in this instance, it would be her feeling guilt for her actions of shattering Pink Diamond.
Yeah, because she was really in a rush to get everything out. She's like, "Oh, the shatter, case closed." Like every single point that was made from either side, she's like, "Okay, let's just shatter. Okay, let's shatter. It's over. That's all we need." And again, this could go either way, either for or against, which we will mention in a little bit. But it does make her look kind of sus, but it also could just be part of her personality and the way she deals with things.
Yeah. Speaking of her personality, Yellow Diamond might be someone who, from what we've seen, craves power. So by shattering Pink, who was kind of like a rising diamond, like it was her first colony and stuff, she gains control over, gems in her court. Like she got Jasper from that. I don't know if she thought about that specifically, but she gained some of the power that Pink had before.
Yeah, that's a possibility. I don't know. Yellow Diamond seems very complicated.
For sure.
So it's hard to say.
Yeah, so that was 4. That was pretty much all we had for it being Yellow Diamond, but of course there's some points against that fact. You already brought up a lot of the good points against it, MYKAL. I'm not sure if there's too many more. She could actually just legitimately be sad about things and not be guilty or enraged, and which caused her to, the after effects of shattering a Pink Diamond. It could just be that she's actually just like this. She cared for her sister a lot, just not in the same way that Blue Diamond does.
Right, she just grieves in a different way, and we've seen that multiple times so far. Even though we haven't even seen her that much in the series, we've already kind of noticed a pattern with her, which I feel like is sort of the Crewniverse messing with us, like kind of getting us to think she was involved. And she did seem to really care about Blue Diamond, so I'm not sure if she would go that far. There is a possibility that she might have knowledge of the conspiracy of Rose Quartz shattering Pink Diamond being staged or fake or whatever. She might know about it, but maybe she wasn't directly involved. Or like I said, it could just be a red herring where she seems like the obvious suspect based off of the trial episode, but she's actually not involved in any way, and that's just her personality, and the writers are trying to throw us off guard to make us think that the obvious choice is who it is, but it's actually someone entirely different.
Any other points that you think we should mention?
No, I think that's pretty much it. I think if it was Yellow Diamond, it would be kind of an easy revelation, so I feel like there's got to be more to it than that, because it seemed like they made it so obvious in the trial that like the reveal that it was Yellow Diamond wouldn't even be exciting anymore at this point, because it seems so obvious. So I think from a writing standpoint, it wouldn't make as much sense to make the reveal that, oh, Yellow Diamond did it, because it seemed to imply that one of the diamonds did it in the first place. So maybe it was someone else. I think that makes more sense. I think that makes for a more dramatic reveal, because like if they're like, oh, Yellow Diamond did it, it'd be like, oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to another diamond suspect, we have White Diamond, who, a big argument against, which, I should just put out there, we haven't seen her at all. She hasn't been mentioned. We don't even know if that's her name.
Yeah, seriously.
It probably will be. I mean, we knew about, a lot of people accurately guessed the names of the other diamonds before they were mentioned, I believe. So, yeah.
Yeah, we know nothing about White Diamond at all, pretty much.
This is going to be all speculation, except for the fact that she wasn't present at at this trial. Well, technically Rose Quartz, but it was Steven.
Yeah,
there,
which is very surprising.
Yeah, you think this affected all the diamonds? So
yeah,
nearly 1/4 of their, their sisters, pretty much, as we've seen, and you just lost one of your members, and there's only 4 of you
That's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I would think that would be something important. But who knows? That leaves so many more questions about what she was doing during that time that she couldn't even be bothered.
Yeah, does she just not care, or was she doing something really important?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope it's the latter, because that would say a lot about her character. She just didn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a point that somebody brought up was that she could have a god complex of sorts, because she's a lot of the imagery associated with her so far has made her seem like she's at the top, because obviously gem placement on the even the logo, and how many planets she's taken. On the mural, how many planets she has, how should I say, like, she is in possession of. So that's all indicating that she is at the top. She's the leader of all the diamonds, in a way, and she thought that Pink Diamond might have been getting in the way. She was like I said, kind of a yellow diamond too. Pink was getting her first planet. Maybe she was going to be eventually powerful, and like White Diamond saw her as kind of a threat, or Pink Diamond was not acting how she thought a diamond should act. And so she's like, this is not working out with our newest diamond, I guess.
Yeah, that could go back to the entire, the rest of the Steven Universe Wanted special, with the off-color gems kind of running away because they will be shattered for not being useful towards their initial purpose. And that goes back to what Jasper said in Earthlings, where she said, if you do not fit the mold of what the diamonds want, you will be purged. And I think that if Pink Diamond, she seemed to have been potentially, from just the context clues of what we've seen about Pink Diamond, she seemed to be younger, and it's possible she was a bit softer than the other diamonds and not as harsh or dominating like a diamond is supposed to be, or as they think a diamond is supposed to be. So it's possible they wanted to get rid of her because she did not fit the mold of what a diamond was meant to be, but maybe they thought it might be too taboo for a diamond to shatter another diamond. So White Diamond could have set something up, so it started this whole rebellion, and that could have helped bring their power like more into a realization for the gems, and bring fear into the rest of Homeworld, and hopefully the rest of the rebellion and all that, and just kind of paint Rose Quartz really bad, and the entire rebellion and anyone who tries to rebel as evil, and they could use that as propaganda. So that could all really fit well together, I think.
Yeah. Okay. And so like we said, so that was pretty much it for the 4 case, because like I said, we literally know nothing about her.
Yeah.
So this is, it's just like, there's not too much we could talk about. But for against, it's possible that she might not even exist at all, or it's just not her in the first place, because there's no indication of her besides on the logo and the murals. So it's like, okay, or she's gone or something. So what's up with that?
Like, like she got shattered or something?
Or just could be either she's just a made-up thing. I was like, your leader? That wouldn't make sense. So I don't know.
She's like a god, like they've never actually seen or met, but they believe in, is what you're saying?
Yeah, that could be.
I highly doubt that.
Okay.
I think that would be super disrespectful to like throw her in all this imagery and like have the fan base like, oh, White Diamond, who is White Diamond? And then just like, oh yeah, she's just a figurehead. Like, I think that would be kind of not cool. And we see like all the colonies she had, so like what would that even
that's
be?
A good point.
So I don't think that's the case. I think there's like a 0.001% chance of that.
And also, she probably had nothing to gain from shattering Pink Diamond. She's at the top, then why would she feel like this new gem who only had a single colony, single planet, could possibly rise up against her, and take her place? Doesn't make too much sense, I guess.
Yeah, and I'm not even convinced she's like the other diamonds, like, this big tyrant, this person with a god complex. I don't think she's necessarily like that, because we've seen before a lot of the characters kind of seem one way at first glance, or the idea of them seems one way, but they actually turn out to be completely different. Kind of like Jasper seemed like, she was just a violent, loving brute, with nothing else but just wanting to fight and be bad, but there actually is a lot more emotional depth to her. You know, Navy is actually a sociopath. She seemed like sweet and innocent. So that kind of stuff happened all throughout the series. So I think with White Diamond, she's being painted as the big bad, and I mentioned this in the White Diamond, Green Diamond video, whatever, and a lot of other people have come to this conclusion as well. Just from a writing standpoint, it would make sense for White Diamond to actually be the opposite, where she's actually pretty nice and forgiving, and who knows how running Homeworld works with that. I have no idea, but that could be a possibility. So that would kind of put that in the against pile.
Gotcha. So next up, we have the last remaining diamond, which is Blue Diamond, which, of course, a lot of you are going to be like, what? But, you know, we're putting all possibilities out on the table. And it is possible that, you know, she feels, you know, guilt again. Or she's a really good liar. A very, very good liar.
I guess. Sure.
Yeah, you never know.
I don't think that would be necessary. The main reason is, like, that would make sense on the trial and when she was at Pink Diamond Zoo, her putting on airs, but it wouldn't make sense for her to go to Earth and see Pink Diamond's palanquin and to confess her emotions to the stranger Greg that she has absolutely no connection to whatsoever, and she thinks is going to die anyway. It doesn't even matter. So there would be no reason for her to do that, just to put on an act for some random humans on Earth. So I do not think she's acting. I think Blue Diamond is the one person I think we could pretty much definitely say is not involved in any way, because it just wouldn't really make any sense, especially given that she went to Earth specifically to visit Pink Diamond's palanquin just to get some emotions out and confide in Greg randomly. So
yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Obviously, her whole feelings against this whole ordeal say a lot, so yeah, I highly doubt it as well.
Yeah, and she wouldn't be pestering that bad for answers if she was guilty. You know, she would already know what the deal was, so that would kind of go against the entire thing.
Yeah. Okay, next up, we are going to be talking about Rose and Pearl eventually. So first up is Pink Diamond set it up herself and framed Rose or something like that. It was kind of like, I guess to generalize it, it's called like an inside job, because it was Pink Diamond's idea for the most part.
Yep, Pink Diamond did 9/11. I don't know. Yeah, I like this idea a lot, actually. Because
you do?
Yeah, because Pink Diamond seemed like she was, you know, like I stated before, kind of more soft, maybe. So I think it's very possible that she kind of confided in Rose, and Rose may have been the only one that knew about this setup. But again, I don't know if it necessarily makes sense. If there were no Rose Quartzes on her guard, I don't know if that would really add up to Rose, Rose actually doing it. So she may have had someone else do it.
And then Rose was just framed or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Because, as we know, Bismuth said that Rose's sword cannot shatter a gem. It can only destroy the body. So the conclusion that Blue Diamond made that it was a sword makes no sense if it was actually Rose.
Right.
Yeah. And I guess an argument against this obviously would be, why would Pink Diamond want to shatter herself or make somebody shatter her on purpose, I guess?
I think that would kind of just send a message to Homeworld that they can fight back and kind of get them sort of scared to even mess with Rose Quartz, because she might be able to, you know, shatter her. And then like that would kind of add into Blue Diamond wanting answers so bad, because she might even be kind of afraid, because it's like, how did a gem that's not a diamond shatter a diamond with the sword? How is this even possible? How could this happen? How can we avoid this from happening again? So I think that is it kind of makes sense for if Pink Diamond really believed in a rebellion and did not agree with the way Homeworld was run, and she knew she was younger and she was smaller and she couldn't really do anything at that point, and she didn't want to take over any more worlds. She may have fallen in love with Earth and the people on it and the life on Earth. So it's possible she figured, you know what, this is the only way to really make a move. But I guess it would have made more sense for her to fight back, I guess. But they may have not have had enough power, and then the diamonds wouldn't have been as afraid. because with the 3 diamonds versus 1 younger diamond and some gems, they're going to get outmatched. Whereas if they believe Rose Quartz actually found a way to shatter a diamond, where they previously probably only believed that diamond could shatter a diamond, if Rose Quartz completely blew that mold away and Pink Diamond knew that, then that may make the diamonds more afraid to even fight themselves. So they would just send soldiers. So this way they would actually have a fighting chance to make Earth free. Yeah.
Okay, so the next one would be just Rose. Without any of Pink Diamond's help, she just consciously did it as a rebel, not an inside job. So, as we know that Ruby said, so of course we have our doubts about Eyeball being correct at all. She was an eyewitness, as we know.
Right.
And, she could have been right. And she remembered Rose's sword, despite maybe she had a different sword or something in general that looked like a sword probably was a sword then, but yeah. Right, and that it was Rose. It was Rose who did it herself, and So what do you think?
I would have agreed that it could have been her before, but after the trial, I don't think they're gonna just be like, "Oh no, it was actually Rose." Just kidding. Unless, like I said, unless it was an inside job between Pink Diamond and Rose, that would add some more depth to it. That would be actually pretty interesting. And Pink Diamond could have just sent away all of her sapphires and all of her agates that day for some reason. She could have sent away her pearl or whatever, and we can get to the pink pearl or whatever in the later in the video. But no, I don't think Rose just did it on her own volition. I don't think that's the case anymore. And I was suspicious before anyway, because a lot of the pieces didn't add up in the first place. And we know Eyeball isn't the most reliable witness, considering she was tricked that Amethyst was Jasper, and they're completely 2 different colors and voices. So that wouldn't even make any sense. So, and I think that was kind of a hint from a writing standpoint, from the writer saying like, yeah, Eyeball said she saw it herself, but also look what's happening right in front of her right now. So I don't think Eyeball is the best witness there, and I don't think it necessarily adds up that Rose Quartz would just do that, even though I do think that would be pretty interesting. An interesting dynamic for her character to just shatter someone for the reasons that she believes is right. I actually really like that narrative for Rose, but I don't think that's the case given all the evidence we have so far, and I think it's going to be a lot more of a big reveal than that.
Yeah, and as we know, for a good argument against, Rose Quartz did not believe in shattering other gems, as we've seen. So obviously her shattering Pink Diamond, we always just assumed that, something that she had to do. She had no other choice. It was the right thing to do. But that still really goes against her morals and such. So now that we have more evidence that it wasn't her, it kind of, it's a little better. She looks a little better now, I'd say. So, yeah, if it isn't her, it makes sense. And I don't think it was. Yes.
Yeah, you could argue that could be an argument for Rose Quartz actually doing it, because maybe she was so traumatized by having to shatter Pink Diamond that she never wanted to shatter another gem ever again.
True.
But again, going back to the sword and the fact that it was designed specifically not to shatter gems, that doesn't make any sense. So.
Yeah. Next up, we have going back to a really old theory that somehow was brought up again. Is that Rose's Pink Diamond?
Fake news.
Just what?
Wrong. Fake news.
Yep. So obviously it doesn't make too much sense, as Rose Quartz is literally a Rose Quartz because of her gem cut, and she's very small. I mean, we know gems can shapeshift and such, but probably not. And she doesn't look like Pink Diamond real. I don't know. But I mean... we know Rose Quartz is really strong and such, and perhaps, I don't know, a lot of gems seem surprised about Steven's strength. I don't know, just maybe because he's small, and they don't expect him to have so much power, but we don't know how powerful diamonds are, so I don't know. Maybe she did shatter it, and, as Pink Diamond, and diamonds had the power to do that.
To just become another gem?
Yep.
Yeah, no. I don't think so.
Yeah.
The only interesting point about Rose having a direct connection to Pink Diamond, other than the obvious things like she was part of her guard and all that, is when in 3 Gems and a Baby, when Gray kind of like opens Steven's like pajama thing to let his gem breathe, quote unquote, it's in the shape of a diamond around the quartz gem. So I don't think that was unintentional. And he's wearing pink pajamas. So I don't know what that was all about. So that's kind of suspicious, but that's the only real big evidence at this point after all we've seen so far. I don't actually think Rose is pink diamond, but I think there could be some correlation there. Because I would imagine if pink diamond was created by the diamond specifically, there would be some sort of whatchamacallit. Like they would have been directly responsible for creating her in some type of overpowered kindergarten or something. The only other thing I can think of is pink diamond is a fusion between like multiple, I guess not multiple rose quartzes. That would just be a big rose quartz. So rose quartz and like another gem or something, like maybe rose quartz and a pearl or something. But I don't necessarily think that's the case.
Yeah, that's a very one that we don't strongly believe in at this point.
Yeah,
but we just want to put it out there. So next up, moving on to Pearl, and a lot of people think that she shapeshifted as Rose, or it is also possible that she just did it by herself, and then Ruby was just like totally, she just could not see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to go over like the points from the? I don't know if you want to mention the post or.
Yeah, I mean, we can go through the notes first, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of them overlap. Okay. So as we know, Pearl has an aversion to shapeshifting, and a lot of people, we don't know why at this point. We don't know if it's just something she's never liked to do, even though she says every gem can shapeshift. Mm-hmm. Yet, come on, Rose, Amethyst has done it a lot. Garnet has, and even Steven has. So what's wrong, Pearl?
Yeah, that's pretty suspicious because we haven't seen her shapeshift ever. I don't think.
Nope. And so if she shapeshifted as Rose, she did this terrible act. She might never want to shapeshift again because she feels incredibly guilty because of that.
Yeah.
So also a bunch of what was said during the trial, like where was her pearl, could be a hint to, we should start thinking about pearls because after we saw that blue and yellow pearl reacted to this, so they were like, what? So. Maybe that's her, or it could be Pink Pearl, which we'll talk about later. We still don't know whose pearl she was, even if she even belonged to an important gem at all. But I guess we can talk about that.
Yeah, well, she had to belong to some type of important gem, but whether or not she belonged to a diamond is another story. I like the idea that she could be Pink Diamond's pearl, but the only problem is she doesn't match that color at all. She matches a White Diamond's color, so I don't know if that makes sense. Even though she did have the pink diamond insignia on her space suit. So that's kind of suspicious. But I don't know how that would happen.
I think there was a theory that she was originally white, but White didn't want her. So she went to Pink, who was more accepting of how Pearl was. And then shattered Pink.
Okay.
Sad. Something happened, so it could just be like she belonged to both of them, the big two suspects of who we believe Pearl's owner was at a point. Because like you mentioned the spacesuit, which is like, what's up with that?
Yeah.
She's supposed to be White Diamond's Pearl because of the gem placement and also her coloring. So I don't know. So if she was Pink Diamond's Pearl, that would make her somebody that could have gotten close to Pink Diamond, because as we know, pearls are the closest to a diamond as any gem can be. Like said in the trial, the pearl should have shouted out, "Oh no, my diamond," something along that line. And then that didn't happen at all. There was nobody with her, so somehow Pearl got her alone and was able to shatter her. And this Pink Diamond didn't suspect anything because obviously she trusted her pearl, just like the diamonds really do. And it's kind of I guess sad because I don't know, we don't know how pearls are typically treated too. I mean, it's pretty, actually, sorry, we know it's pretty bad, but the pearls that we've seen don't seem too upset with it, strangely, I guess.
Yeah, Blue Pearl kind of does, and we saw that a little bit in the answer when she heard that the rebels were going to be struck down. She was like, oh, I don't want that. So I do think there is a little bit of that. I think Yellow Pearl's pretty cool with her position, but she clearly still fears Yellow Diamond.
Yeah.
But Blue Pearl seems to be more melancholy about where she is. So I think we can probably see some type of rebellion within her at the very least at some point. But yeah, I mean, because we see Yellow Pearl and Blue Pearl interact quite a couple times. So I would imagine that they would have known Pink Pearl. So that reaction has to be something, because they must know Pink Pearl. They must have had plenty of interaction with Pink Pearl in the past. So maybe, like, did she go missing? Like, there's a lot. We can go get to Pink Pearl in a little bit, but I'm kind of rambling. But that line really, like, struck me, because I was like, what does this mean?
Yeah, and another point is that we know so little of Pearl's past. Especially, we know about all the other crystal gems past so far. So it's like, what gives? It's been over 100 episodes. We know nothing about Pearl. Every time, she just mentions Homeworld barely, or she gets traumatized even thinking about anything that happened regarding Pink Diamond or whatever, as we've seen. So it's like, okay, what's going on here? She's getting more and more suspicious the more time goes on, and we don't learn anything about her.
Yeah, and we saw that with, when Eyeball revealed that Rose Quartz shattered Pink Diamond, and then she started, like, really shaking. When Steven was pressing and he saw Pink Diamond's palanquin and stuff like that, Garnet was like, please, you're making Pearl very upset. So this seems to be a very sensitive subject for Pearl. And this also goes back to Eyeball being easily tricked. So if it was her Pink Diamond's whole court and she did have a lot of rubies or whatever common soldier gems, then it would make sense that if Pearl did shapeshift as Rose, theoretically, that she would be easily tricked, even though the colors are all off and it doesn't look like her at all whatsoever. So that would technically make sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we also know that Pearl's, like, ideas about freedom and such, so she probably saw this as the right thing to do, if it was her. So she, liberation, and for other gems, not too many of them got away from in Pink Diamond's core. Obviously, a lot of them, Pink Diamond's gems got moved to other diamonds, but for the crystal gems, at least, I guess she saw this as something that needed to be done, and she didn't want Rose, who she loved, to have to do it, so she decided to do it herself.
Yeah, that's just kind of confusing, though, because she ended up becoming a rebel anyway, and everyone knew her as the terrifying Renegade Pearl, regardless. And Rose Quartz, because it wouldn't make sense, because if she loved Rose Quartz and she didn't want Rose to be the one to take the rap for it, why would she shapeshift as Rose Quartz and pretend she's Rose Quartz doing it? That doesn't really add up. I don't know what the purpose of that would be. That's my only real thing. Like, yeah, it technically makes sense on paper, but what motive would she have to pretend to be Rose Quartz shattering Pink Diamond, do you think?
Well, she loved Rose, so, I mean, but that would be like, oh, framed Rose still, so...
Yeah.
Bad idea.
Yeah, that doesn't add up. And also, how did she do it? That goes back to that question. How is a Pearl able to shatter a diamond?
Well, we know she's really shattering itself, we don't know how easy diamonds are to shatter. Gems in general don't seem too hard to shatter. But we know that Pearl is very skilled with using swords.
Yes.
So that's, maybe she had a sword that could do the job.
That's a possibility.
Yeah, so we don't, obviously, we don't know about Pearl's past, which is like she might had not even been there around that time, or like, well, she was obviously around, but like, I don't know, like, just not associated with any of that yet. I don't know.
I don't think it's likely that she could have been involved in some way, but I don't think it makes sense for her to shapeshift as Rose and do it. Unless there could just be some plot point that we're not aware of yet, so maybe it adds up once it's actually explained to us. But I don't, as of right now, with the information we currently have, it doesn't actually make sense for Pearl to want to shapeshift into Rose and shatter Pink Diamond. That seems really arbitrary.
Yeah, because I mean, the point was that she loved Rose, but doing something so purposely that would get Rose in trouble just doesn't seem like something Pearl would do.
Yeah, she would have just done it herself.
Mm-hmm. That's a big point against it. So yeah, Pearl actually does have quite a bit of evidence, but not many people believe that it was her. So moving on, we have Pink Pearl, who we also know nothing about. Probably not our Pearl, considering that, obviously she's not pink. So, but yeah, what do you think, Michael?
Yeah, so we're going to assume Pink Pearl is a different Pearl. It could be our Pearl, but I doubt it. But clearly our Pearl had some type of connection to Pink Diamond. But we know literally nothing about Pink Pearl. We haven't seen, I guess that was the closest thing we've gotten to a mention. But we've never seen any pictures. We know nothing about her personality whatsoever. So we have nothing about Pink Pearl, but that would actually make sense because she would shapeshift and she'd still be pink, so she could be Rose Quartz. She may have been involved. It could have been, this could tie back to the Inside Job where, Pink Diamond could have asked Pink Pearl to shatter. But again, why would she transform into Rose Quartz? That's the only thing that's still not adding up. And that would explain why, her Pearl wasn't able to cry out, "Oh, my diamond, watch out." Like, that would explain why she wasn't able to do that, because she was the one doing the killing. So that would make sense. Yeah. But other than that, again, the main question is why Rose Quartz? Why transform into Rose Quartz? We do know Rose Quartz, apparently, according to Zircon, was a known threat to Homeworld for hundreds of years before the attack. So maybe it was just an easier target to blame instead of taking the rap. But again, this kind of goes back to, where is Pink Pearl now? We haven't seen her at all. What is she doing? Like, because, I don't know. It's just weird how Yellow Pearl and Blue Pearl reacted to that when she asked that. And no one knew where she was. And I think if she did go missing, that would have been pretty suspicious from like the Diamond standpoint. I don't know why they wouldn't look into that more if she theoretically just went missing after the attack or something like that. So I don't know. That's pretty interesting. Or maybe she was bubbled afterwards because she just wasn't able to help her diamonds, or she wasn't there for her diamond, or she was a suspect, or a low-key crystal gem or something like that. But Pink Pearl is very mysterious, like, because we know so little about her, and especially after that line, like, there's so many questions and so many different possibilities for what could have happened to her.
Yeah, I agree with everything that you said. So that's pretty much it for individual suspects, I guess. And then we also have, pretty much for our last thing I think we thought of, was it could just be multiple diamonds or other gems working together. So like we said, obviously one could be white and yellow diamond work together.
Yeah. For
this, one of them took the blame, or one of them shattered. Pink Diamond. Yep. And I don't know, or they could have just made frame Rose somehow. So there's a bunch of options here. I don't know if we could list them all. But.
Yeah, there's a lot of options. Who knows? Maybe even White Diamond was involved with Pink Diamond to just shatter Pink Diamond. Or maybe Pink Diamond is still alive and she faked her death and went to Cuba with Elvis and Tupac, and she's actually fine. There's actually no real telling, and this goes back to the mural, because we still have no idea what the mural even is, because we see Rose holding up a diamond, and we're assuming it's Pink Diamond. It's diamond. And it looks like White Diamond is probably attacking her, and it looks like she's almost protecting herself with the diamond. So again, I kind of brought up that Rose just had Pink Diamond's gem. Maybe she was able to poof Pink Diamond, and then she held her gem up, and then White Diamond actually shattered the gem, but Rose did it inadvertently by holding it up as a shield. So technically it was Rose's fault, even though White Diamond technically did it, but doesn't sound right given the story that we know, with her walking out of the palanquin and then her attacking her from the front. So that's confusing. And apparently everyone saw her shatter her, so I don't know. There's a million different options. And I think this entire plot device, this whole plot point, is really brilliant from the Crewniverse's part, because there's so many possibilities and so many ways that we could speculate about this entire thing. And this seems to be the driving force of the entire series for the most part, how everything even came to be in the first place. So I cannot wait to see. And I feel like we're not going to see for quite a while now, which makes me very sad.
I know, right? Yeah, so any other suspects you would like to talk about?
Listen, Kofi is super suspicious. Okay, he puts fish on pizza. That's not cool. I think he did it, and I think the restaurant wars was a foreshadowing and was a hint at that of Kofi being an undercover pizza man, diamond murderer, and he is thousands of years old, and that's it.
Okay. Any real suggestions?
No.
Okay.
No, I think, that pretty much covers it, really. I think it's more likely than not, white diamond is involved in some way, shape, or form. I feel like yellow diamond's a red herring. I don't think blue diamond is the culprit. Pearl may have been involved in some way, but I don't think she is the one that did the shattering. I don't think Rose did it herself, unless it was an inside job. Pink diamond may have done it as an inside job. She might still be alive somewhere. I think that would be kind of cheap, but that would be pretty interesting. But I can't wait to see, and I really want to know what happened to Pink Pearl. Where is she now? There's just a lot. So yeah, those are my general thoughts. I think that's everything.
Yeah, I agree, and I am super excited, and I can't wait. And so we'll just have to see what happens in the future. And before I end the video, I would of course like to thank the many people who helped us from our Discord, who helped with the document, and just a couple people that who wanted credit were Anzap, Kyle, Vexagon, Jasper, Lyoko Gem, and Fishings. Sorry about that. Yep.
Nailed it.
So I think that pretty much covers it. This was a long video, as I predicted.